Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of RK Football as we discuss another weekend of Premier League football, the last one, and with the international break around the corner. So we are going to make the most of this one. And obviously, of course, it's me, Matt, Stu, and David again with
Hello,
us.
hello.
Hey.
And we may have someone on new next week. There's a surprise for you,
Ooh.
but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. We don't want to say for sure yet, but we'll see. We'll see. But right. I think the perfect place to start is obviously the game of the weekend, and that is Manchester City's 3-0 victory over Liverpool. I think we'll start off with Stu and get his opinion on things. Stu, what was your views on the game?
I mean, it was weird because obviously a situation. Obviously, we were going in with like really good form. Like obviously, back the Aston Villa and Real Madrid. Seems like we're back to our best, and we kind of had a bit of hopefulness. But yeah, we looked leggy. Like we looked like off the pace from minute one. To be fair, City were just past it quicker. They were better. They were faster. Just everything about them when they had the ball just looked better than us.
Mm.
Um, and obviously that penalty. I mean, you can see why it was given because obviously his knee technically hit him, but it's a
Mm.
bit. But he saved it, so it's not all bad. So good for him.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but then obviously Haaland's goal was great. That was a really good goal, and obviously basically what the momentum shifted in this game, as we know, is with that Van Dijk disallowed goal. Really, I mean, I don't. I don't think it should have personally because obviously it's like is Andy Robertson like interfering with play? Is he though? It's a bit of a tight call though because he is in the
Um,
position, but then it didn't look like it's like I think was it maybe City's player was in the way more that would have instructed him more than Robertson, but
Yeah. I
I
get so
personally would.
hazy. I get so hazy with those kind of offside decisions.
mm,
Those ones where like, are they interfering? Are they not interfering? I get so like, I don't know what
Yeah,
the kind of what the criteria is for it to be called an offside,
yeah.
but yeah.
I think as well. I actually think it was the right decision. I know a lot of Liverpool fans are probably going to be sitting there thinking we were a fool. But the reason I say it is because you have to just look at what was happening in that situation. He does interfere with play because if the ball hits him, the ball doesn't go in.
But
So
it
he
doesn't hit
ducks
him.
down,
That's
but he
the
and then the
ducks
thing.
though.
ball does go.
But he
No, he
ducks
ducks.
like
No, but he does duck, yes, and the ball goes in. It didn't obstruct. You could argue it didn't obstruct Donnarumma's view because he does dive for the ball still.
He do yeah,
I
exactly.
think there's an argument for both. I really do. I just think because of it being such a marquee game, it's such a big
Yeah.
game. That's
I
that's
think
why it's
that
been
I
blown
think it
out
was
of
harsh,
proportion.
to
I
be
think.
honest. I think it was
I
harsh
mean,
to give it.
Mm.
I mean, Donnarumma is
yeah, but
diving to his left. I don't
yes,
think
it's
he
like
does anything
so he can see
if he
it. So
wasn't
obviously you can
there.
see the so
Yeah,
you can see the
exactly.
balls
Yeah,
there.
he
So
just
yeah,
doesn't reach it.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
after that, I think it did deflate us. And obviously when they got the
yeah.
second before half time, it was just like the game was pretty much over after that. I mean,
mm.
we did look a bit better in the second half, but it was more of a situation. We weren't creating anything that was really making you go, oh my god, Liverpool can get back into this. City were just so good. Like give them credit, they were
You
really good
you
in this
you
game.
don't think? You don't think? I thought like they had some good chances. Liverpool. They Salah he missed the target on another day. He would have probably
It's
put that at the
just
back of the
it's
net.
ju- I,
Gakpo at the back
yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
post
mean, I
as
made
think
a
I
well.
think
couple of saves as
it's just
well.
one of
Yeah.
those days where it's just like when it goes against you, it goes against you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, but yeah, I mean, it was. I think what really, and obviously when, obviously we've got to talk about Doku in this match. I mean, good God, he was absolutely immense. Like he was just like all over us, like from minute one. He was just like normally he does cause us a little bit problems, but in this game he was like, I
Connor
mean,
Bradley could not deal with him. He
I
could
know.
not deal with him. Like
But
my
what was that
word.
chance that near post when it's like he got the ball and then he turned in again and it's just like the way like his movement it was just like like damn it he's just
He
so good and he had to do it against us of course but yeah I mean uh, I don't know I think it's just tiredness we look like we just didn't look like the team that was obviously was it two big performances in the week and obviously
mm,
last weekend and this weekend is this one we just never looked like getting going and
mm,
yeah, it's just but then the way I look at it is a situation of us getting stuffed by City at the Etihad is nothing new. It does happen a lot. It does happen a lot than people expect. It's just because obviously with Arsenal, obviously we talk about it slipping up. It was an opportunity, and then we've kind of missed it, and then now
City
all
have
the
got the advantage from it
yeah.
instead.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So now it's gone. It's going to be an interesting season, the one because obviously it's like gone. We were 5 points 5 points clear. Then we screwed over, and then Arsenal went 7 or 6 or 7, and now they've dropped points, and now City are up to 4 points, I think. So for 5 or 4, it's like it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very up and down this season because obviously,
Yeah.
but. I obviously I'm not going to say it's over until it's over, but yeah, I think this defeat kind of wipes us out of it for at least unless something drastically
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah,
But-
it's getting to that point now. You look at the table, and Liverpool are 8 points behind Arsenal already. You can't write it off because it is so early on in the season.
Yeah,
But I personally do think that Man City, this is their best performance of the season so far. They were
that's good.
ruthless. Haaland on the score sheet again. Yes, he missed the penalty, but he would have. He's now got 99 goals. Premier League games. Like, he's got he's got 99 goals in 108 Premier League games. In case I cut out there. So and he's got 28 goals this season for club and country. So he's playing extremely well. But to say that a player of that magnitude wasn't even the star of the match, and it was Doku, it just goes to show how well Doku played in that game.
Especially because Haaland got it, especially the fact that Haaland got a goal as well, that we're still saying that he wasn't man of the match. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, would it be fair to say that Doku is probably one of the most exciting players to watch in the Premier League?
I love watching him. I love watching him. I mean, it's always nice. It's always a nice feeling when you start saying or noticing things about a player before anyone else does. I mean, I'm slightly joking, but I feel like I was saying Doku's a really good player before anyone else on planet Earth. No, I mean, obviously joking, but I feel, I mean, he's just brilliant. I mean, I think the problem has been that he's either not being picked in the starting 11 and teams, or his performances haven't been consistent enough for people to recognise the fact that he is such a good player. But performances like yesterday, I mean, my God, it was just, I mean, just you can think of all the words. It was just spellbinding, spark, all the kind of
it was
all
ringing
the
rings around
words you
us
could use to.
all game.
It was just unbelievable to watch, and obviously it was his kind of jinking run into the box that caused the penalty.
Beautiful.
But obviously,
it was painful.
But
I mean, it's painful to watch, but like I can't deny when I see good goals. I mean, even if it's against your own team, it was beautiful. It's such a good goal.
It was one of those goals that, you know, when like something happens in a game and then they're through, and you just think, sitting there thinking, you have to score, please score, make this a brilliant moment, and he just flies into the far corner.
Yeah, and you can see players panicking sometimes. You know when you see a player like making a long run, or they do a nice bit of skill, you can almost see them thinking, oh, if I score right now, this will be one of the best goals ever, and they kind of panic and skide over the bar.
Yeah, it's but
there was nothing like that with Doku yesterday. He would just so calmly and just whip right into that far corner. It was an unbelievable performance from him.
Well, obviously this game marked Pep Guardiola's 1,000th game as Premier League manager as well. 1,000 games as a football manager. 550 of those matches were with Manchester City, and his points to game ratio sits at 2.28 per game, and his goals is 2.49. I mean,
a lot.
I mean, it's obvious that he is going to be like City's. I think he's got to be. I mean, he can't be far off the conversation of he is the best in Premier League history, like with what he has achieved at City.
Well, yeah, it's always him and Ferguson are always the ones that people kind of argue over, and that kind of argument will always, I think, mainly depend upon who you're actually supporting. But will kind of dictate who you're going to pick in that argument. But he is certainly getting there. I think in terms of trophy return, I mean, I think he joined in 2016, was it? So we're close to 10 years now.
Yeah.
Is that 6 Premier League titles? I think it's 6, isn't it?
2018 when he won his first one. His first one in 2018. Then it was
might be 5.
2019 he won it, didn't he? Then 2020 was Liverpool.
And then he won 4. So yeah, he has won 6. I mean, 6 in 10 years is unbelievable. A Champions League, I think. Has he won the FA Cup? He must.
He's won the FA Cup.
At
least twice.
And won the FA. Yeah, of course, with the treble. Yeah. So certainly one of the best in Premier League history. You'd have to say in the top 3, surely. Or even the top 2.
Would it be a situation of looking at it from like because obviously we've had this debate many times, and obviously always rile people up. But if you just separate, wouldn't we separate it sitting there saying that Sir Alex is like the best Premier League manager from the 90s and early 2000s, and then Pep's like?
Well, that's not, and it's not an I think that's fair enough.
I think it's acknowledges both, but also not discredits both. Like, because obviously
Yeah,
everyone
exactly.
like who is better. They're both
I like
great,
that.
so it's a win-win for everyone. So
I think for me,
people might argue that Mourinho in the 2000s, though.
Yeah, you could argue that. I think though, for me, the top three is Alex Ferguson, Guardiola, and then Wenger. I think for me, a lot of get ready, Arsenal fans. Piss off a lot of you probably. I think Guardiola has surpassed Wenger. I think in terms of his impact in football, the legacy is left. You got to look at Mikel Arteta. He is now a manager who's managing a team top of the league, one of the best teams in the country. Enzo Maresca, what he's left there for him as well. I mean, he's managed some of the best players. He turned a team that was a team that can challenge for the title to a team that who dominated English football for the last 8 years minimum. Like that's my opinion. I do think that I don't think Wenger was sensational. He was sensational.
I mean, we bought
I would put Mourinho above Wenger, to be honest. I think top three would be Ferguson, Guardiola.
I have
Mourinho.
to mildly disagree with that one. But
because I think Mourinho just took. I mean, Wenger didn't take the Premier League by storm in quite the way that Mourinho did.
Maybe not on the pitch though. But
maybe not.
But
I mean,
scenes,
obviously
though,
character would. If we're talking purely job based, I mean, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But he was just such a character, and all of his kind of press conferences were box office, and what's he going to say next? And his teams were obviously amazing, right from the first teams, and then when he came back to Chelsea, and then won it in 2016, I think it was, or 2015, I think, 14-15 season, with that kind of new team that he brought when he brought in Costa and Fabregas and the likes of them. Teams are just kind of strong, tall, kind of physical teams that he's always had. With a few kind of exceptions with players like Hazard, who just kind of who ran games by himself.
Would you say he's declined though? Because obviously I get it.
Yeah,
he's declined.
100%. I mean, he's jumping from club. He's going to have
he's terrible. But apparently in Benfica, he's done well in league. But apparently also we know Champions League's been absolutely rubbish. But I mean,
he's like a novelty manager now. He does. It's like he's just not really there to do a good. He's just there to kind of. Hey, look at me. And
he's slowly turned into, unfortunately, this is the best way to describe it. It says don't stay around too long or else you'll become the villain. He's starting to become that sort of manager where he's just going, like you say.
He's always been the villain, and he's always loved being the villain. That's what I love about him.
He doesn't. I think with Mourinho, it's more of if you don't adapt. Like, I don't want to say perish, but like the same thought, because he's just so stick to his ways. Like, it worked for a long time, and he won many trophies and big teams. But obviously now it's like he's not changing. So basically, he's been found out a long time ago, and because of that, that's why he kind of got a little bit. He can get a trophy there and then, but it's becoming more and more harder the longer he's gone. But I mean, I honestly think Mourinho, yes, when he came in, he completely transformed the Premier League. When it comes to how no one was playing 4-3-3 before he came in. Then he came in, and all of a sudden everyone was doing it. We forget it was a thing. But yeah, I would say he could.
How many Premier Leagues did he win over Wenger? I think he won more, didn't he?
3.
But
he won 3 Premier League titles. No, he won
3
Premier League titles.
Right, okay.
Arsene Wenger, I think he either won 3 or 4.
And if we're talking overall, man, if we kind of expand that out a bit from the Premier League,
1999,
he also
2003,
won the Champions League as well.
Won 3 Premier Leagues, didn't he?
Just throw it out there.
But I mean, I don't know. I just think because of overall where the Premier League was when he came in, Arsene Wenger, and what he changed in the background, how I would pip him under Jose, and obviously how. But again, it's all personal preference. It's not like anyone's wrong about it.
So to finish off with this one, we're saying that. It's the top 2 is potentially between Guardiola and Alex Ferguson.
It has to be, yeah.
And then we're saying it's either Wenger or Mourinho. Mourinho, then Wenger.
So. Are we missing anyone out? Obvious? Are we missing any?
I mean, if I was going to be a bit popular biased here, maybe Klopp, but it wasn't. Maybe it's because it's how long he was there, maybe what. But I don't know, but.
I think if he actually won those trophies, the finals he was in, if he actually was on the right side of things, then we would be saying
if he won more, exactly. If he won more than one Champions League, maybe. It
was just the way. I think it's more the track. Yes, maybe the trophies, and yes, that maybe might bump him down a little bit. But what he did to Liverpool with the situation.
He'd be in the
Yeah,
top 10 easily. Top 10. But I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But we will move on swiftly. We have obviously Arsenal did drop points on the weekend, a game where Liverpool and Man City were probably thinking they would be ready to pounce. Man City did pounce because they drew against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light. I will be honest, Sunderland have been brilliant at home this season.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think anyone saw that coming.
No.
I don't know. I think so. Do you not think? I think everyone thought that might have been a tricky game for Arsenal. I certainly did. I mean, I think I had Arsenal to win in my predictions, but I didn't think it would be. I don't think I had 3 or 4-0. I think by a goal difference. But no, great. And I think that last minute equaliser from Sunderland obviously maintained their home record now. They're still unbeaten at home. But yeah, great performance from them. 2 goals against a team who had only conceded 3 in the previous 10 games.
It was
is no mean feat.
It was one hell of a game. I think because obviously I was out when I was at a pub and I watched it. And like I watched the whole game. It's just like it proves a point of like what I loved about Sunderland. He went. You know what? No, we're going to go at this Arsenal side. We're going to actually, because obviously you could easily just step back and go, okay, defensively. They're like, no, we went for it. And obviously the first half they were, I think obviously. Per the way that like Arsenal just couldn't get going, and obviously Sunderland were definitely well deserved for their 1-0 at half time. But obviously give Arsenal credit, they got back into it as well. They pressed more, they looked better, and obviously both of their goals were, very good. But then I think but near the end you had that sense that like there's another go in this game. You can see Sunderland get back into it, and when they did, I was like, I mean, obviously I was probably. A couple of Arsenal fans around me, so I probably was the only lonely by myself when I celebrated Sunderland an equaliser. But like it's just I think it's just because it's like okay, you don't want them. We all talked about last season with Liverpool and it's like running away with it. You don't want that, so it's kind of nice that they have vulnerabilities, and obviously with City kind of winning, it's like yes, sucks for us, but like it shows that they've still got 1 or 2 problems. I mean, not major ones, not massive ones, but it was just nice to see a team like they weren't afraid of them. They just went for them. So they were at home and they just went for Arsenal, and there's a point to be fair.
Yeah, I think that watching that game, I caught the second half because I'd just come home from work myself. I actually thought Sunderland were absolutely brilliant. I watched the highlights of the first half late that night, and I think Sunderland do not get the credit they deserve from this result. They really don't. A lot of people have been like, oh, Arsenal weren't good enough defensively. They let themselves down.
Oh.
Day off, yeah. Criticise the top team as much as you may want. Sunderland would have taken, like, Bayern Munich, PSG, every team across Europe would have struggled in that game because they gave them no space whatsoever. They were brilliant in that game. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, they're all moaning about. Obviously, they're still quite. I mean, it wouldn't be an Arsenal slip up without some sort of moaning from the Arsenal fans. So was it? No, it's like, that equaliser. Was it that equaliser shouldn't have been allowed because obviously he was put on his shirt. It's like, doesn't. I mean, personally, I look at it from like
he out points them, didn't he? Like, and the best defender, best goalkeeper in the country at that point in time, and the attackers completely outmuscled them in a situation where you did think, how have you done that? How have you actually managed to win that? And he done it.
It's impressive. Like it's just a good. As I said many times, obviously when we talk about the other promoted teams, they've kind of mildly slipped down a little bit recently. It's just, again, I've said it probably 1,000 times. Like, it's just nice to see they've bought well, they've recruited well, they've gone up in the Premier League and go, no, we're going to go for this. But then, like defensively, they're quite solid as well. So it's not like. Who would have funked it if you get promoted? Have a decent defence. It's really apparently that's like a foreign concept to some promoted teams recently. I'm talking to you, Vincent Company and Burnley, but just defend well, and then because obviously they're kind of a counter-attacking kind of good passing team. It's just nice. And also they are fun to watch. Like literally are fun to watch. It's just a good team. I mean, and obviously they deserve that point, and I am not looking forward to facing them when Liverpool do, because that's going to be a tough away day.
Yeah,
they're a tough game for anyone these days.
Yeah, no, go on.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think though that with Sunderland, like, was it Daniel Farke? Just before the weekend started, he said that the objective is to try and win 9 games because 9 victories should be enough to then keep you up if you're averaging a point a game after that.
Yeah.
Sunderland already have 5
They have
victories.
5, yeah.
So
Like,
not pretty, unless
not bad at all.
I mean, basically, they've done all the hard work. Like most of the, well, I mean, obviously that's not. They could have a massive collapse, but I don't see it.
Of course.
But
No.
it's just again, it's like they've done what a promoted side hasn't done for a very long time, and they've gone a run early on, and then they might have just done enough to just
they're getting points. They're hoovering up points where they can. I mean, they've only they've only lost twice as well. They've had 4 draws. I think teams can benefit from draws. I mean, Liverpool haven't drawn at all this season. Sometimes you can benefit from a draw and just get points where and when you can. So I think that's important as well.
What a manager.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been nice.
But the one player I think stands out from this game, and he was undoubtedly man of the match as well, was Dan Bullard. I mean, he's playing so well at the minute, and he was a player that actually, when you look back last season, he wasn't even featuring regularly for Sunderland. He came in the playoff final, had a brilliant game, and he just went from strength to strength from there, and he looks so good. It's going to be a big ask, but could he maybe squeeze into that England side if Sunderland continue this form?
Yeah.
Could he squeeze into that side?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think it might be a little. I think Tuchel by now will have some idea what team he's going to go with. I think it might be a little bit too late, but you never know. You never know.
I mean, fingers crossed for him. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
He seems like the kind of defender that just you would want when your back's against the wall. I think, and I think with later stages of a competition, when you want to have a defender like that, so maybe. I mean, I hope so. But either way, it was immense. Like some of the blocking he was doing in the game was just so good, and I'm fingers crossed. But it's just another example of how amazing Sunderland been. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we will quickly talk about Arsenal as well. Obviously, it is a 2 points dropped, definitely. But is it anything to worry about? Personally, I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Yeah. No.
I mean, also they got Tottenham when they come back from the international break. So
I think they'll hammer Tottenham. I really think they'll hammer Tottenham.
Oh yeah. You put. I mean, is that a prediction? Is that an early prediction?
No, not at all. I don't think there's much to worry about for Arsenal. I mean, points dropped at one of the best performing teams in the league it's not by no means a disaster. So yeah, I think it's good, and I think just as long as they keep. Yeah, exactly. If they maintain that gap at the top, again, it's still only November, but they're still chugging along really nicely. They still look really, really good. They still have an amazing defensive record to boast. So yeah, I think just keep doing what they're doing, and hopefully don't get too many injuries, which could be a worry later on in the season.
Yes, the old excuse.
Yeah,
the old excuse, the injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You haven't used that one yet, Stu. I'm very surprised.
Well, because
no one's injured. Everyone's fit.
Oh yeah,
they're just terrible.
Can't really use that because
Isak is fit and he's sat on the bench because he's.
Oh
terrible.
no, that's it. Sorry, that's it. You used Isak as he needs to adapt to a league he's been playing in for 3 seasons. That's your one. Anyway.
Exactly.
No, not league system, but anyway, yeah, okay. You say that, and he'll come back and he'll start, and he's got Nottingham Forest. They'll just he'll score a hat-trick, and he'll be
back to bite me. This will. Yeah.
Yeah, it will. I think it will.
Yeah, but we'll move on to a game that obviously, of course, I watched. Chelsea with 3-0 victory over Wolves on the weekend. It is apparently this week Rob Edwards will be announced as the new Wolverhampton manager. I think a good appointment for them. I think it will be interesting to see what his thought process was, because I think if he stayed with Borough, he could have probably got them up.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, sorry to cut across, but I don't understand, because it came out to say that Middlesbrough officially allowed him to go and speak with Wolves. I was thinking, why? What is? I know obviously there's a payoff and stuff like that, but I mean, but Borough could get promoted. I just don't understand why.
And then he could go the other way. They could literally go the other way, and he could
replace them.
Yeah, I don't understand that move at all. And that Wolves, who are cut adrift now, I think they're 10 points off 17th, aren't they? Something like that.
They are. So
is it 8 still?
So they're on 2 points. Yeah, they're 8 points. No.
Is it 8 points?
Yeah, they're 8 points off of Burnley.
That's a significant gap for a team rooted at the bottom. So, and I mean, they look pretty hopeless. Yeah, I don't know why. I
Can't
can't see.
defend.
It's a strange move. They must have. I mean, the Wolves owner must have sold the hell out of that club. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, or just offered them a bunch of money. It could be one or the other. It could be both. Could be just the money, but you never know. Yeah, but interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how well he does. But yeah, again, I just don't understand them. I just don't understand why you do that.
I don't understand it either. I think that
Mm.
as well, there's nothing about Wolves at the minute that you sit there and go,
No,
I could
no,
try this, I could try that. It looks so they look so
hopeless.
drivel. I
Yeah.
think in the nicest way
You
of
know,
putting it, it was
Ooh, that's strong.
drivel.
but I mean, they didn't really create anything against you guys. Because obviously, I watched
No, they
bits of it.
didn't.
Like it's
No.
like basically like they had. I mean, they had like certain good like little movements. Like okay, they're passing them, but when you get in the final third, it was just like they did again playing when you haven't got the confidence. You don't know what to do when you're in the final third,
Yeah.
and obviously that game with Chelsea was more the situation: can Chelsea bait them down more than them? Was
Yeah,
it Wolves getting a goal? But obviously, when you got the
Mm.
first, it was just open the floodgates really, and it was obviously.
exactly.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Wolves are in trouble, and I've got to be honest. If it was an ironclad, if you were going to put a betting thing in an ironclad that a team's going down, unless something drastically happens, I think Wolves is a safe bet. I think.
I think as well, this is another way of looking at it as well, is that you look at Liverpool's situation and they're 8 points behind Arsenal. They are,
Mm.
yeah. But have you written them out the title race? No, because
Yeah,
Liverpool are more than capable of stringing
exactly.
together a 12, 14 game unbeaten run and being right back in the mix of it.
I hope so.
Wolves cannot see where that next victory is coming from. You just
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't see where
exactly.
that
And
next
like
Yeah.
teams
victory is
like
going to come from
Burnley
at
and
all.
Nottingham Forest and Leeds, teams around that area are kind of
Mm.
they're not great, but they're miles better than Wolves, so they will pick up
Yeah.
points along the way as well. So yeah, it's
Mm.
difficult to see them kind of escaping
Yeah.
relegation, to be honest.
No, but Chelsea, we got another victory, another clean sheet. Yes, it was against a
Yeah.
team that didn't play that well, but it's always nice to see. I was actually, for once, impressed with Garnacho. I thought he
Yeah,
was
two
very
assists,
Yeah.
good. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought
I
he
mean,
was
that's
very good,
that
and
assist for that third though.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it
yeah,
was brilliant, and the pace as
he was
well.
gone. Like, and that's what I want
Oh,
to
he was
see. I
good.
was like, this is the player that I want to see, not this boring old player that's like thinks it's all about him every five
Well,
Yeah.
seconds. So I was very impressed with him, but I think Enzo Fernandez is now getting to a point for Chelsea where he is as important as Calcedo in the big
Mm.
games. Because he spits that ball around the pitch is just brilliant to watch. Like he's like the
Mm.
pendulum of that midfield.
well,
So good to watch.
they just comprehend each other. I think that's what they find. If you find for
Yeah.
a long time, Chet, you had the problem with trying to get that mix right in the midfield.
Mm,
Obviously, now you've got was it now you finally got it. Like, and it's just finally paying off. You know, but
yeah.
I mean, hey, I can respect when things are good. I'm not one who's like, if you when you're good, you're
Yeah.
good. But like, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Garnacho, I mean, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like I think what and I mean, I know it's not another start to dig Man United, but another former Man United player going somewhere else and succeeding,
Yeah,
doing quite
no.
well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe it's the club,
I
but nah, I'm just
Definitely the
just messing.
club.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was always one of those players that I was very surprised we went for him. Obviously,
Yeah,
if
me too.
if he's going to keep playing like that, then I'm thinking, what a bargain. Do I
Yeah.
see it carrying on? Not really. Prove me wrong, though, please, go on that show. Please prove me wrong. That's what I would rather you do. To prove
He's
me
already
wrong.
doing better than what Sterling did at Chelsea. I mean,
where
very
is
well
he at, by
deserved.
the way? Like, is he
Is
like
he
just
still
not
at
on the bench?
Arsenal? Is he still at Arsenal?
Thanks,
Is he just injured?
Who's
I've
that,
no
sorry?
idea.
Who's
Raheem
Sterling.
that?
Sterling?
Sterling? Oh, no, no, he's still at the club. He's still at Chelsea.
Is
Yeah,
he
he's
still?
still at
Oh
the
yeah.
club. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, he's
nice.
still there. So yeah, kicking his heels probably in the showers all day. So I don't know. But yeah, I think that Chelsea were good. Defend for me, get two back-to-back clean sheets. That is going to give our defence a
Big.
world of confidence at the
Yeah.
moment.
Mm.
So very, very happy with that result. Fingers crossed, give the international break, get it over with, and then let's try and keep that going. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, so anyway, we'll move on swiftly. We've got what's oh, I suppose we'll mention about Man United, shall we?
Yeah. Why
Should we get
not?
on to
Yeah.
that Man
Yeah.
United game?
This
So obviously, yeah,
crucial tie. Oh, yeah.
to Tottenham 2-2 against Man United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll be honest, I thought Tottenham were pathetic. I thought they were absolutely pathetic defensively.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
did. They
It
looked.
was a terrible game. I mean,
It
it got
was good.
exciting in the last 3 or 4 minutes or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, by no means a season-defining result for United at all. I mean, it was such a nothing game, and
yeah.
it was just right that the points were shared at the end of the game. I don't think either team really deserved to win it. Tottenham did well to get back into it, obviously. And Richarlison with his obligatory take shirt off, score goal, take shirt off, and concede
The
equaliser
curse,
a few minutes
It's like,
later, which was hilarious.
did he learn nothing
You know,
from
poor
against
bloke.
Liverpool? Again, when he scored again, was it equaliser?
Yeah.
And then we went on. So it's like you got to wait until like the last minute, then win the blow. Don't
Yeah,
sit there
just
and
keep
like
your
it's just like,
shirt on at least. You think
come
it
on,
would
man.
look quite
Like,
as silly anyway. But yeah, a few kind of sparks of positive things to be. I mean, and Mbeumo getting his 5th goal of the season, he played well again.
Yeah.
De Ligt played well. I think when the subs came on, the United subs were pretty hopeless. Ugarte I've had enough of. I just don't think he offers anything at all. I don't know what he's doing there, but and yeah, I mean, Spurs' home record has been shocking this season, or this year, in fact. I think they played 19 home games in the Premier League. They've only won 3 of them.
Yep.
I mean, that's
you
really
love,
bad
oh,
for a top 6 side, you know.
you love, this stat was probably is similar to what you said with like the home form. This shows probably how bad it is for them. It's basically Spurs are the second fewest home points, and
Yeah.
next to Wolves.
Yeah,
So
I
they're
know.
that.
So
So
bad. I hadn't actually known that they were that bad at home. And I mean, because I saw that stat and I went, God, really? I wasn't aware. But so I kind of walked away from disappointed that we didn't go and get a win, to be honest. But no, it wasn't a great performance. Again, a draw is a draw. Still, that's 5 games unbeaten now, 3 wins, 2 draws, not too bad.
Yeah.
With 1 or 2 things to be positive about. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, nothing. It won't be a season. Rather, it won't be a result that we look back on at the end of the season and go, oh God, do you remember that 2-2 draw? You know that that was an important moment, wasn't it? You know, it's just one
I
of
mean,
those.
when has there ever been a quality like Tottenham versus Man United game for a long time? To be fair,
There's
like
not been a
quite.
lot. Yeah, there's not been a lot. Yeah, there's not been a lot.
I mean, we had to sit through that lovely what was it Europa League final, like as like that was just like.
Forgotten about that. I'd actually erase that from my mind, to be honest.
Sorry, mate,
You
I had
just
to bring it up
remind
again.
me of that.
But
I mean, not just the fact that United lost, but yeah, just how terrible that game was. It's
Oh,
just been one of the
so
worst
bad.
games ever. Yeah, of course it was 1-0. But yeah. So not much to shed about this game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I point's a point, and happy with the point. You know,
I think
happy
though,
not to lose.
Spurs I think Thomas Frank, the way he sets himself up, is very counter-attacking style. The players he's got on his flanks, they're very like, right, now we're going to pounce upon them because they've got the pace in the players like Tell, Richarlison. They've got the pace in this squad to absolutely and like go for it. But at home, because teams aren't going to play that way against them when they're at their home ground, they don't. It's like they then get confused as to what to do in those situations, and it was like,
Which is bizarre. Yeah,
it is like, I mean, Pedro Porro for the first goal they conceded. I was watching him, and Bremo was in the box, and he just stood there, and it's not like he runs behind Porro. He just
No, he just stood there.
just like that into place. He just goes back a little bit behind him, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, he is literally just walked behind you and made that so easy. I think that Spurs don't look like they've got a clue sometimes, like when it comes to defending. It is worrying. As a Spurs fan, I would be worried with that.
I think they're starting to become a little bit Spursy now this season. They started off great, but they're becoming just very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at their last 6 Premier League games, draw, win, loss, draw. It's just all over the place, you know. So they've kind of lost that consistency that they had at the beginning of the season. You think of wins against Man City, things like that. But yeah, they are starting to become a little bit slapdash now. So I think they kind of need to shore up and just improve that home form for a start. I mean, my God,
I mean,
that's terrible.
I mean, I mean, obviously, when we talk about the Newcastle thing as well later on, but like, I've just put it up. I'm not saying this excuse, but like, is it a pure coincidence that another team that's got Champions League doesn't have the squad for it? It's kind of struggling. I mean, I'm not trying to use that excuse, but like, it's
I think
kind
it's
of
more naivety. I think it's more naivety. I think because Thomas Frank has never had to deal with European football before, and managing that like thing of right, the game of the week, then we got the game of the weekend, that sort of thing. I will that you can use that as a defence in a way for the likes of Thomas Frank, but some of the players in that side have played European football before, so in a way they should know better as well. But again, a good point at the end of the game, like David said, pretty poor game to watch, but it's a point for both sides. That's it, sort of thing.
Point to point, baby.
There you
Take
go.
it any
You know
day. Yeah.
But we will move on to the Newcastle game. But now I'm going to say something that is probably it could agree with Newcastle fans. It may disagree. But it'll be great to hear your opinions on this. Is Eddie Howe's time at Newcastle coming to an end?
No.
There you go. End of.
Next question.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nice one.
I mean,
right.
they're
Anyway.
in stinky form at the moment. They've lost 4 and 6. They're in bad form right now, but they have enough there, and Eddie Howe is an experienced enough manager to kind of pull it around, turn it around rather. No, I don't. I think it would be a huge mistake if the Newcastle owners decided to let Eddie Howe go in the next couple of weeks. If they don't get win after win kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's the same problem as last time they were in the Champions League. I think that's what it is. Because obviously, was it the idea of like when they weren't in the Champions League or Europe, they performed the way they did, and then now they're in the Champions League and having that 2 games technically in a week, they've kind of slipped, not as consistent. But I mean, what I think worried is like the idea that it's exactly what happened to West Ham. They started off well, got the goal, and then all of a sudden just either collapsed or just let the other team back into it, and then. I mean, obviously they're not the only team to suffer from throw-ins. I mean, good God, they've got so many victims to the dangerous throw-ins of theirs. But
I think in this game it wasn't throw-ins that actually really exposed them. That I might get the name wrong, so forgive me, Brentford fans. But that Otara, who he ran Dan Burn ragged down that left flank, and Dan Burn just couldn't deal with him. Like he had the pace of him, and obviously he ended up getting sent off. Which obviously isn't good, but I think that the way that Eddie Howe set up for that game, it was like Brentford's probably sat there and thought we could exploit the weaknesses in this side. Why you would put Dan Burn out on the flank and not bring in Lewis Hall to go out on the flank, who plays as fullback. Why would you not play him?
Yeah,
I did think that was a bit strange. I'll be honest.
But I don't think it's a decision that will give Eddie Howe the axe, No. But I know what you mean. Yeah, it was bizarre, but I mean, and he is bang under it at the moment. I think look, we can never really tell, but I mean, if Newcastle's I think they're 14th now, aren't they? I think so. Anyway, if they slip down the table even further and kind of European commitments and the squad gets stretched, injuries, this and that, and loss after loss. You never know. I mean, look, if we get to after Christmas and there's things haven't kind of taken an upturn in form, they're find themselves in the bottom 3. You never know. But I think as of now, I think they definitely should stick with Eddie Howe. They shouldn't even think about letting him go.
The reason I actually think that maybe it's Eddie Howe's time coming to an end is because I fully think that he is going to get him out of this little rut. He will get back up the table. Like they've got the players good enough. Yes, they lost Isak, but then Wolfer Maid looks like he's going to score the goals. Harvey Barnes does it as well. Dan Burn and the defence, Nick Pope as well. They're all players that will get you back up there, no doubt about it. But I've just got this feeling in the back of my head that he has now taken Newcastle to the furthest he could possibly do it. He's won the League Cup. He's got them into the Champions League places. Yeah. Surely the fact, the owners are now thinking, if we want to go that extra step, is he the manager? I don't think he is. I don't think he's your manager.
They've just had a rebuild of the squad more or less. With obviously Isak leaving, they need to bring in a replacement. So he's got a new kind of forward line, if you like, or a new to work with. I don't know. It remains to be seen how well they'll finish this season, obviously. Yeah. But it's not looking great at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, like we all forget the summer though, it's not like a lack of trying to try and include the quality. I mean, they pretty much every transfer rumour that probably has Newcastle will probably rumoured to probably be involved in some way about getting some quality players in. But no, I think it's just, like you said, I've seen it 2 seasons ago when they were in Champions League last season, the same problem. So obviously with the squad maybe, but maybe if like obviously you said the end of the season where like if he's like they're out of the European places, maybe because obviously Newcastle want to be consistently in the European places, maybe. But no, I mean it's just I think it's just the Champions League thing. I think, and he's like he still hasn't found that balance. We're trying to balance the Champions League and the Premier League. But yeah, I mean. But then to be fair, when you against Brentford, you're always going to struggle because obviously they're so good at what that so good at what they do. To be honest, so I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, but I think I'm sure one certain person did put Brentford to win. I don't know who that would be, but yeah, like you got away with that one. You got
Tell
away
us,
with that one.
put us out of our misery, Stu, please. Who was it? Who do you think?
Just in case you had to hand wave, it's me.
Oh yeah, but
don't
yeah,
decide with me.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about because I had a dreadful one, but it happens now and then. But you know what? It's one of those things. I think it's like it's one of those things. You have a couple of bad results. Everyone says, "Oh, get with the magic." Now, I think end of the season, if you don't finish at European spaces, maybe. But if they get like European, maybe Champions League again, or they'll be fine. I just think they're not clicking in the moment. But yeah, I mean, good win for Brentford. Let's be fair. Like they're absolutely yet again proving that AK everyone's predictions were utter rubbish, and we don't know nothing about football because apparently they're doing really well at the moment. So
yeah. No, I agree. But obviously, again, well done to Brentford. They're proving all the doubt was wrong so far this season. They're currently 12th in the league, with 16 points. I think they've really proved a lot of people wrong so far this season, and hats off to them. Hats off to them.
Thiago was in my fantasy team and he got 2 goals. Yes.
No.
He's finally come good for me because when was it? João Pedro scored for Chelsea. It's like, but he's on the bench. But then Thiago like scored 2, and I'm like, okay, justify my selection. All good.
Oh, brilliant! Right. Obviously, another game that I think for me was a pretty good watch as well was Everton versus Fulham. Like it was a 2-0 victory for Everton. A player that actually stood out in this game for me is a former Chelsea player. It was Dewsbury Hall, Kieran Dewsbury Hall.
Got an assist, didn't he? Yeah.
To City 2 seasons ago. One of the best players in the Championship. Come up to Chelsea, didn't really do too much. He's come to Everton, and I'll tell you what, it looks like he's found his home now. It looks like he's a player that's going to cause plenty of problems, a bit of the permanent figure with Jack Grealish at the club. I think he's a very decent player. He obviously got the assist for Michael Keane's goal.
Yeah.
He does look good. I'm just fingers crossed for him he can keep it going because like I think Everton do look like a team that could be finishing higher this season than what they did last season under David Moyes. Did anyone pick up the game, by the way? Or
I mean,
the game itself,
I literally just watched the highlights. Like, was it just before? I just had enough time to watch the highlights before the game, before we actually recorded. So just in the nick of time. But what was weird about this game, watching the highlights, is my God, how many offsides do you have to have in a game? Like, I think of like was it like every time you think was it? I watched because obviously I watched the Everton on the Everton channel. And it's fascinating watching commentator when it's the actual club because obviously it's quite fascinating when they score they go mental and it's actually really funny but but how many times it was just like they've scored and he's just offside, he scored, no, he's just offside. It's like so many offsides in that game. It was just like, is it going to be one of those days for Everton where they get like they just can't put it back in net? But I mean what I love about this game is like it's probably a perfect game for Everton because obviously at the moment Fulham are quite not great, like they're not doing anything that's really, I mean, what was it? I got a quote here that's kind of funny. It's just like that kind of expresses them quite well for them. They're just average and boring.
Yeah,
it's not. No, you can't really disagree with that, to be fair, because they're not.
They're banging trouble, I think. I really think this season you'd worry for them. I mean, they just.
I mean,
yeah, in terms of relegation, I think they're not.
I don't think they really created anything. I mean, obviously goals have been, even when they were doing well, goals up front have been a problem. Because I think, what was it? Not even their top scorer got like. Double figures, like I think like 9, 10, even just 10. So goals have been a problem for them, and now when the goals dry up, and obviously you can't produce anything. Yeah, they've got. Fulham is one of those clubs that I can see slipping in. Like you're gonna. if they don't pick it up soon. But yeah, they don't look. I mean, Everton like definitely deserve to win. Like, basically, 2-0 is probably a bit. It looks. It was one of those games that if there was offside ones weren't offside, it could have been like a 4-5 game type thing. Because Everton absolutely were brilliant. But yeah, I mean, it's they're quite. Was it said all that thing about they might be a bit off in at home at the start of the season? I was like, oh, they might be a bit off. Like, what do I know? They've been great at home. So the new plan. So what do I know?
Yeah. What do we know about football? Eh?
Apparently nothing. So
I know nothing.
I tendered my resignation on the podcast and I'm off because apparently I know nothing.
I'll have to do a cricket podcast or something.
You know it, yeah. The only players I sit there and look at that Fulham team and think they're their big players this season is Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi. They have to be really good for them to be able to even stand a chance of having a good season. Like it just doesn't look like a team that's going to excite many people this season. No. I do agree with you, Stu. I think that they could easily be right involved in that relegation dogfights this season. They could easily get dragged into, I mean, it's all starting to close up a bit now. Teams below them are starting to win games again now, so that's definitely going to be causing them problems. So yeah, but then obviously another team that did do pretty well on the weekend was Aston Villa. They, I believe now, won 5 Premier League games this season, and I tell you what, they have really they looked impressive against Bournemouth. I was really impressed with them.
Those goals, I mean, good God. Like, their first two, I mean, that free kick was absolutely immense. And obviously that, and then the second one with that shot, I was like, it's just, I think it was like just watching all the goals. I'm just like, they were just, it was basically, it felt like I'm watching it, like the highlights. I was like, this is Aston Villa from, this is the Villa we thought would start the season. But, because we thought, because obviously nothing's changed. They've still got to look around about the squad. But then it's like, this game, it's just like, it was surprisingly off day for Bournemouth because obviously we were expecting to be like a really even game, but just Villa were just absolutely all over them and just everything went against Bournemouth in that game. But yeah, those first 2 goals, I mean that free kick alone, I mean that was just top corner, no chance for that one.
I thought Brent Dia was absolutely brilliant for him at Villa Park that night. He seemed to dominate the midfield and cause a lot of problems for the Bournemouth defence. A defence that this season has looked very good at times.
Yeah.
Shaky, didn't they? Really uncharacteristic at times. I think that Emi Martinez, having him back in the side, it just goes to show how important he is to their success this season. The confidence he brings for that defence.
It's so crazy to think that he was on the bench.
Off to United.
Yeah, he was like start the first game and just towards the end of the transfer window, and he was, like the manager won't even speak his name because he was thinking he was on his way out, and now it's like he's sitting there like, was it great save? I think like just about tip it over the bar, and then that penalty save. He's just like, I think that game proved like, this guy there's a reason why everyone wanted him. Like he's world class.
He's one of the best keepers in the league.
Yeah, by far. I think. Yeah. And I think this game kind of proved how good he, remind people how good he really is.
Yeah.
Because he was so good in this game.
Yeah.
I'd love to him at Chelsea. I would have loved him at Chelsea, but Sanchez is having a good season, so I'll give him credit. I'll let him.
January's cropping up. Maybe might be a January move. Put a little bit of cheeky bid. Might get him.
I don't think so.
He said Sanchez now, so now he has to stick with Sanchez for the rest of the season now, just through loyalty.
Yes, we must exactly.
Even loyalty. If he has a stinker,
Yes, exactly that. I'm very good with loyalty, other than
yes,
Trent.
You are.
Anyway,
and you say that, and then he'll make a mistake in the next game, and all of a sudden he's like, rubbish, get rid of him. We need a new keeper in January. Yeah, get rid of him.
No, I wouldn't say such a thing. Let's move on quickly, shall we? But it's. I don't think it's a game really to worry about for Areola in this one. I think I think Unai Emery really got the better of him in that game. Intensity wise, I think Bournemouth looked right off of it, and just Villa showed up. I think when you just a team shows up and one team don't. That's how it can look. It looks really bad, but they'll be all right.
I mean, it was the Villa. It was the Villa I was expecting to turn up against us last weekend. That's the thing I was thinking. I think if they play like that, they would have really done us. But
I guess in the first 20 minutes, they did in the first 20 minutes, and then
obviously, it was a very even game in that. But I was expecting to be like that game. It's like every chance I was like watching that. I think I was expecting to watch that game, going, I can't watch this. They're gonna score. They're gonna score. But like, it was luckily it wasn't that kind of game. But I think it's just every team has an off day. It's not the end of the world. I mean, don't be surprised if next game they probably do it to somebody else. Pump something 4-0. So
yeah. Then a team that actually got their first victory, Sean Dyche, Nottingham Forest winning 3-1 against Leeds United, a relegation 6-pointer. And I said about Daniel Farke earlier, saying some things before this game, and one of the things he did say, and for me, I think it does strike a bit of concern as a manager, as a fan for a team that is involved in this part of the table. He said that these games are not important to win. As long as I win at least 9 games and get an average a point a game, then I know we'll be all right. I'm sorry, these games are relegation 6-pointers. These are the games you want to be making sure you get the points from.
You win the games around. It's basic relegation stuff. You want to beat the teams around you. I mean, obviously, again, the problem with Leeds, it seems like the same thing. They start off well, they have good moments, and they look like a really good side, but then they just drop off. They're just a team that just drops, or like something happens and he just can't seem to get back that momentum. But that's a weird comment, to come out, sitting there going, well, this doesn't matter. It's like, yep, it kind of does, because it's getting dragged into because obviously, I get it, statistically, he said, was it 9 wins? Was it 9, 10 wins?
I think he said 9, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, that's cool. I mean, but you kind of, you have to beat the teams around you. Yes, you might get extra points, but if you want to get those 9 wins, you need to win matches like this. So if I was Leeds fans, same as you, I'd be a bit wide to those comments.
It could have been a little bit of frustration as well, just with the placing that they're in, a bit of stubbornness. I mean, he'd probably try, if he was to kind of defend himself further, he'd say, well, I mean, look, 9 wins, I'm telling you what we need to do to stay up, Again, it could have just been a bit of
it could be. It could be. I think you are right there, but I think that these sort of games, I because one of the things he said, I think that's what kind of got me interested in this comment, was that he said, if we get a win against Liverpool, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a Leeds United team and we have, say, I don't know, Arsenal, Liverpool, Burnley and West Ham is our next 4 games. 4 games.
You know where you're hoping the points are going to come from. Right.
You sit there and go, you might field a weaker team against those ones because you're thinking we probably won't get much from those, but these ones you may do. That's what made me think, well,
exactly.
Surely, but anyway, might be looking into a bit too much, like you say, David. But Nottingham Forest did look convincing. They played very well, I thought. Installed things really well. I was actually quite intrigued by Elliot Anderton. He's obviously got into the England side, and I'll be honest, I haven't really watched him in too much detail. I know, Stuart, you sing his praises quite a bit, and obviously he is a good player. So I was sitting there thinking, what is it about his game that gets him in this England side? And now I've watched him, he does actually look pretty good. He wins the ball far back and gets the team moving quickly. He controls the tempo of the game so well, I thought. So
it's just and also it's nice to see what he got. He's obviously he's taking penalties now, not anybody else. But I mean, it's just that control. I think it's it's nice to have someone that's just good on the ball and calm on the ball. It's just nice to see, and I think that obviously with the England stuff, that kind of is helpful that we have. We've pretty much got. I would say we've got our midfield too, pretty much sold up. If it's a 2, pretty much sold up there. I think, but
Rice and Anderson.
Yeah, I think that'd be. I think they complement each other really well. So I think that'd be. I think that'd be the perfect one. Because obviously, I just think because obviously England haven't looked that assured for a long time when it comes to that. Because obviously getting that mix right between obviously someone that can, like the pivot type stuff. But I think last couple of games with Anderson, he's like, look, this looks balanced, and I like it. So I would personally, I think that's assured. But then then I say that, and then they probably put Jude there, and just there you go, probably, mess it up. But no, he was brilliant. It's just, I think it's just for Nottingham Forest. I think it's just they've got a manager that's kind of said that I understand how he used to play and how most of his team can play that kind of way, and he's just and they've got so many quality players on that bench, and obviously we're Nottingham Forest, so. And it does help when you got a guy that he's not trying to rock the boat or change anything too much. So now it's like, what a shocker. They get a manager that's mildly quite consistently solid at the back, and all of a sudden they kind of play quite well. So
exactly,
I mean,
he was always going to be a manager that was going to solidify everything for Forest. And I actually think that Sean Dyche has done one thing very well. It looks like the way that Forest played against Leeds, it might not be too much to look into, it might be early doors, but it looks like Dyche has built his team around Anderson as well. He's gone like, you're my main man. Let's see what you can do. And like Gibbs White, he's obviously a big player for him as well. I do have to give Tuchel a bit of respect. He called was it Gibbs White and actually said to him, "You're not in the England squad this time around," and everything like this. Like it's a real like. Let's see if he is in the England squad in the summer because he is a good player. But I wouldn't be surprised if he misses out and Anderson goes instead. I wouldn't.
I mean, I probably would say I would sit there and say that's probably what. I mean, obviously, we'd love both, but yeah, I think when it comes to Tuchel's system, I think Anderson's gonna probably fit in there more better. I think it'd be so. Again, I say that, and he probably won't play the next 2 games, and then it's like my whole theory's out the window. But I just think out of all the things we've got to kind of think with England to trying to like fix, maybe the right back and all the other stuff. Like I think that might be the one I think that's solved. I think that's solid, and then we just got to figure out the other stuff. I think.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, David? Do you think that Anderson is a guarantee for England, or do you think it's
he's a guarantee for the squad? Whether or not he's a guarantee for the first 11, so for example, for the opening game, possibly. I do agree with Stu. I think Rice and Anderson is a likely bet for the midfield for the World Cup. I think it just depends how other players finish out the season, how strongly players like Bellingham and players like this kind of play for the remainder of the season. So like I said, it remains to be seen. But Anderson. He has had a really strong start. Like I said, he's gotten into the England side, and when he's played for England in the few games they've had in the international so far, he has looked well and comfortable in the midfield. So yeah, I don't think it would be a massive shock to everyone if he did get a start for England. I think he seems to suit it.
He's in for a shout, but when a fully fit England squad, so you got your Palmer and Bellingham back, it will be interesting to see what Tuchel then does from there. But we'll see. Now we have got obviously West Ham United beat let's be honest, a poor Burnley side again on the weekend. Back-to-back victories for West Ham, so a big confidence boost for Nuno Espirito Santo going forward. I didn't think West Ham looked that convincing defensively. I do think that there is definitely question marks in that defence, and I think it'd be fair to say that the January transfer window needs to come around thick and fast.
Because obviously, well, it could go defensively. That's the problem. Like obviously, you've got problems up front a bit less, but defensively, they looked. I mean, but again, we can't fault them. They win. Like, what can you do? You got to win. We're talking about Nottingham, obviously the Leeds and all that. It's like you've got to win the teams around you. Obviously, West Ham obviously did that in this game, and obviously, so 2 wins out of 2, good for them. Like, obviously they've finally got right back on track. I think West Ham. Obviously, it'd be interesting seeing the next couple of weeks, but. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a very interesting relegation fight this year. It's going to actually be a proper one this year, and I'm kind of might excited for it because it's about time we get a proper old school relegation dogfight.
100%, proper scrap,
a proper one. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. West Ham won 2 games in the bounce now, and I thought, they must be out of the relegation zone. No, they're still 18th. I thought that was funny when looking at the table.
Like a point, isn't it? It's not really close.
Yeah, they're on the same. Them and Burnley have 10 points each, but Burnley have the goal difference is better, so only slightly. But I think it will be. And I do agree, Stu. I do like a proper relegation scrap, particularly against more than 2 teams, is always exciting. And I think we will get that this season. There's a few teams around there that are kind of, I don't think could be separated points wise, but not by too much anyway. So I think it'll be a good one this season.
I agree with that. I think like Burnley, it was a bit of an uncharacteristic performance from Burnley. The Bravka did not help them at all. Like, he made some absolute shocking mistakes for them. But I think like Burnley, they'll try and sort it out. They'll hopefully they stay up, because I did say for them to stay up. Please stay up.
Oh, did you?
I mean,
I forget who I had relegated. Well, I had Sunderland relegated.
I definitely, put it this way. All the teams I had relegated, none of them were in the bottom three.
Well,
so
my,
I'm
my,
doing so
well,
well.
my prediction's been
I've
out
got
the window
Nottingham
because
Forest.
but they're starting to win, so maybe this might not be good.
I know. Well, it's one win. They've had a million losses now. They're going down. I hope.
I love the confidence. I mean, for me, it's like I'm screwed because I put all the promoted teams to go down. So either way, my relegation picks are 100% wrong. So
in a row or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a fair pick at the time, but obviously I'm glad I'm wrong in this one, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, my predicts, when we look back at them, you'd be like, Stuart, you got that completely wrong. It's like, fair play.
Yeah. But obviously the last game of the weekend obviously was Crystal Palace against Brighton and Hove Albion. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a bit of a struggle to watch.
I didn't bother with it, to be honest. I didn't even watch the highlight. I mean, obviously, I mean, people call it the derby, the M23 derby. I mean, do me a favor, it's barely that. It doesn't feel like a derby. You know what I mean? It's just like, who cares?
Oh, to be fair, like if you watch the game, like except for like as I said before, like we said obviously off camera, like last season when it was like goals like sending offs, goals fucking all over the place. It was proper like if it's supposedly a derby, like proper like kind of like intense, but. Yeah, this game was not that. They bigged it up as this big thing. Basically, it probably came across as two mid-table sides cancel each other out. That's pretty much what it was, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was.
I mean, the only thing you can sit there and say, maybe I think I watched a little bit of the highlights, like that penalty maybe, but it looks like they overturned it. But except for that, didn't look like a lot going on.
It was a decent result for both teams. I mean, Gahey didn't even start the game, so I think.
It was one of those, wasn't it, where they just, at the end of the game, both teams shake hands. Let's never speak of that game again. Let's just go our separate ways and just continue on with our respective seasons.
We're
going to be last on match of the day. That's all about. And last on OK football.
It is always a draw. Every time these two play, they big it up as this big thing, and it's always just a draw. No one really wins it. It's always like a 1-1. And obviously you must be devastated about that it wasn't on the Super 6, because that you could have got a 0-0 there.
Oh, I know.
Could have got you 0-0.
Proved everyone wrong.
That's the question.
Yeah. But anyway, obviously that is it for this week. So obviously we will be back next week. It is the international break. So we'll be looking at the England games and seeing how they get on, and probably look into it a bit more in terms of who we actually think will be going on that plane to America in them next summer. So yeah, but it's goodbye from me and goodbye from everyone else.
Bye guys.
That's it.
All right.